What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of College Football Chatter. And that's exactly what this is. This is not structured. This is not going to be something where you're going to hear it politically correct, folks. This is the stream we're going to get on here, and you're going to hear the honest opinion, or as I like to hear Coach Sean, which we'll give introductions here in a second, say, just my humble opinion. Take it or leave it, right? So we appreciate everybody in here already, and obviously Roll Tide. So with that being said, let's go ahead and give a roundtable introduction real quick, starting off with you, Coach Sean, and down to Brinsky. Let everybody know where they can find you and what you talk about.
My name is Coach Sean. We just do content on college football, anything sport, really. Anything that's hot. Love talking with my guys. Enjoy it. Talking with the people. You can definitely find me at JMHO. Just my humble opinion. Not an insider. None of that. I'm a former coach, right? So I know the game. JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter and YouTube.
Brinsky.
Well, of course, I'm Brinsky Sharp of the Sharpshooters Podcast, man. Y'all can catch me at B_Sharp on Twitter. The YouTube channel, of course, the Sharpshooters Podcast. Same name on TikTok too. So definitely go check us out. And like Coach Sean said, not a reporter, not an insider, no nothing. I'm just a guy that loves football, just like my bros. Yeah, we got an insider. You know who it's called? It's called Clint Lamb and all them.
Facts.
For the fans, by the fans.
Oh, yeah.
So give a shout out to everybody in here. I know people are so used to seeing Justin and everybody else on here. She all great shows. Episode 1 here, obviously. So make sure to get used to hearing this out every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Central. Everybody, with that being said, Larry Large, Roll Tide, we'll run through some of these comments before we get started here. Jason Jackson, what's going on, man? Bama Standard, man, putting together great shows as always. Roll Tide, everybody. And Keyway, what's going on, bro? Oh, man. Joe Will, and look, make sure y'all give y'all shout outs to y'all people too. We get multiple streams and multiple platforms here right now. So we got a lot going on. Daniel Berry, happy Friday. Oh, man, happy Friday. It was a long Friday till now. Now it's about to be a good Friday, literally. So, all right, guys, getting into this real quick, we're going to make this very simple, right? And we'll start off with you, Coach Sean, but expectations of Alabama-Day. Look, we know it's not what it typically was, right? Where you saw the miniature game with Coach Saban screaming, yelling behind the quarterback, running people down, throwing his hat, everything else completely different. I've already said this before. I feel like we're going to more of the NFL model to where it's going to be joint practices. You're going to start seeing, right, logos, we'll say sponsorships on jerseys. Look for it here soon. Money for NIL, just saying, calling it now. But all that good stuff. But with that being said, Coach Sean, expectations of Alabama's first A-Day with this new structure and with Ryan Grubb as the offense coordinator officially.
I mean, for me, man, it's real cut and dry. I look at it a little different than most fans. A-Day was always really a glorified practice to me, man.
Yep.
They keep it really vanilla. It's really just for the fans, man. They really don't run a lot of things. So I'm looking at it as a football practice type, which is what it is, just with people in the stands.
Yeah.
So for me, my expectations, man, it's very early in the season, right? We all understand that we're not a finished product by any stretch of the imagination. Some of the people you see playing tomorrow may not even be playing during the regular season. So my expectations are very low, quite frankly, to be honest. So for me, I'm looking at it as a whole nother thing. For me, from the coaching perspective, I want to see how the offensive tackles block. I want to see Ola Salina at left tackle. I want to see Michael Carroll at guard or tackle. I want to see the footwork of the offensive lineman. I want to see these guys' route tendencies. I'm really interested in seeing that. Probably more than anything. Is it hitches? Is it flats? Is it crossers? Is it deep balls? I want to see them in the red zone. I want to see them on third down. So for me, I'm looking at that kind of stuff. And I know it's a vanilla practice, but those are things that when you're going against a competitive front, whether it's a practice or not, every offensive coach has things he like to do. I want to see what these guys do on third down. What's the play call on third down? Do they run more hitches than crossers? Do they run more 9 routes? Are the tackles' hands in the right place? Are their feet in the right place? That's the stuff I want to look at. I'm not really concerned about the score or who really step up and things of that nature, because a lot of these guys may not even be starting in the regular season. I just want to see basic, fundamental things. That's all I want to see. I seen a lot of stuff in last year's A-Day, believe it or not, that plagued us during the regular season. So do they give Ty or Austin or Keelan? Do they give him time enough to throw the ball, to throw a basic hitch? So just basic stuff for me, man. Basic, fundamental football is all I'm looking for.
All right, Brensky, let's hear it, bro.
Hey, Coach basically said it on the technical side of the football. For me, I still have the same expectations. They super low because the same guys you see playing tomorrow, some of them you're not going to see in the fall for the most part. Just really, just a fanfare for the most part. Just hoping that people get out and get to see their favorite Alabama player get a picture, get an autograph, even a conversation. Man, they're just the expectation I have. Just seeing some of the freshmen that's coming in, how they developing so far, how that quarterback position looking, running back position, wide receivers, cornerbacks, D-line, linebackers for sure, because with Deontay out, just want to see how those guys step up, and Jihad out, see who's going to be in town. Just mine is more on like fan side, just see how it's going to go, and definitely tackle recruiting. We got a lot of big time recruits in town, and that can possibly be on the team from Crowell and Sedarian Morgan. So definitely want to whatever we got to do to get them on the team. Let's make it happen.
So you took it right out of my mouth, man. Like, look, coach is a coach, right? Coach Sean's a coach. I'm a fan, so I speak from the fan standpoint. When I look at this, I want to see who's showing up to this game. What former players are going to be walking around next year's recruits, right? So that's just what it comes down to. I think it's a huge recruiting event. To me, this is a glorified red carpet for recruiting at this point. That's exactly what this has become, in my opinion. It's fanfare, right? I do believe it is still free to get in. Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but I do believe it is free still to get in. Obviously, you're going to pay for everything, the vendors and everything, the moment you step inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, right, and Saban Field. That's just how it goes. But we got a couple questions and stuff like that on here. We'll get to that here in a minute. But and then I'll give my take. But Roll Tide here, Jason Jackson. Oh, we always doing good, bro.
What's going on?
So Christian Hughes, what's going on, man? And of course, way offside, bro.
Way offside.
I'll be hitting them up all the time on Twitter, just sneak commenting and bouncing. So wonder how involved Saban will be. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Do you guys have any insight to that whatsoever? I've heard he's not really as involved as people may think he is. I'm sure something like this with an 8-day game or 8-day event. I don't know what you call it, scrimmage.
Yeah, he'll probably be out there. But he's more of a fan, man. Pretty much a open ear for Kellen DeBoer. Like, whenever you need me, I'm here, bro.
Yep.
That type of guy, but he pretty much, man, he enjoying retirement. You could just tell, man.
All right, so I got to pose the first question. This is going to stir up maybe something a little bit. I doubt it, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. Look, we know the QB race is going on between Ty Simpson, Austin Mack, right, and Keelan Russell. Yeah. It's no, everybody pretty much thinks they know that Ty Simpson is a starter. It seems like Keelan has worked his way into spot number 2 as the backup, and it seems Austin Mack fell a little bit behind, right, during those past 2 practices or maybe even 3. But Coach, tell me, how much would this weigh for Austin Mack to go out and show out, not just in front of Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, but the crowd as well, and kind of get them behind him maybe, or Keelan or whoever that may be, and maybe Ty Simpson comes out and lays a dud, right? So what is your expectation as far as the quarterbacks, and do you feel like there's any pressure on them to perform during A-Day, especially with at least the crowd watching, right?
I think it's always pressure, especially at that position. It don't matter if it's a practice, especially now, because at the end of the day, bro, the truth is in the details.
There you
We
go.
don't have a
Yep.
quarterback who started a football game. They can scream Ty all they want. They can scream Austin. They can
Yep.
scream this freshman. I am of the mindset. I know how hard it is for a freshman to start in college. I don't give a damn how talented he is. College football is 100%. You go from high school football, and he played high school at a great level. Don't get me wrong. Dominated. Brother, when you get in college, protections, finding protection, shifting motions, reading. I mean, it's. I cannot explain to you how different it is in college. And Keelan has got a long way to go mentally before he's ready to walk out there on that field. Now, he may be the most talented quarterback on the roster from a talent standpoint. I don't doubt that at all. But throwing that young man out there against Florida State, he will have to cover a lot of ground, brother, in this offense. So for me, man, I think it's always pressure at that position. I think you have to go out and perform. We do not have a returning starter. I do believe Ty is probably mentally miles ahead of these guys. I'm sure Austin Mack is just as apt with the offense as Ty, but it's just the plan. It's just the Ty got a little bit of burn, right? We've seen a very, very small sample size with Ty. But for me, man, my mindset is this. I don't think a decision would be made. I don't care which one play well, which one play bad. They'll cream it over and make it look like everybody's the same, which is the smart thing to do, as they should. These young men will all have an opportunity to walk out there on that field, I believe. I think if Keelan covers the ground mentally, protection-wise, reading the defense-wise, I think Keelan got a chance to play, right? Austin Mack, everybody's kind of, saying he's third, whatever the case may be. If Austin comes out and play well, maybe he's not third anymore, right? If Ty comes out, don't play well, or whatever the case may be, you know how it is. The fans are going to gravitate to whoever played well. And when at the end of the day, I don't think the coaches are going to say anything out the way. This battle will go on over into August. I'm telling you, right? So be careful of making judgments of who play well and who play bad.
Brensky, let's hear it.
Yeah, man. I believe everybody believes it's Ty's job to lose.
Yeah.
And it's up to him to just really just take over the position. Austin Matt pretty much has the most knowledge of the playbook. And like Coach said, Keelan is the most talented, but he has a long way to go. And we said this before many, many times that it's hard to play college football as a freshman, especially day one in the SEC. And I'm going to say it over and over again, man. Look at the history of the SEC.
That's a
And
fact.
you show me how many of the all-time greats that ever played in the SEC started day one. And that's your answer right there.
I gotta give a huge shout out. That just shows you, I don't care what anybody says and the hate this man received, how special Jalen Hurts was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And he didn't even start day one.
No, he didn't start day one.
Mm-hmm.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, nobody expected that dude to come in. And then you look at Bryce Young not starting day one, Tua not starting day one. You know what I mean? And then just seeing that. So I'm hoping, and I want you guys' opinion on this. We can go through this year. And I'm just going to speak on this real quick because it is something that's irritated me the whole past season, right? The whole year. We got to stop the hate on the freaking quarterbacks and on the players. Seeing that interview with Wilkin Formby, hearing the Jalen Milroe stuff, it's one thing to judge or critique the play, right? We have opinions, right? I'm a fan. I'm a fanatic. That's why I'm called a fan. I'll critique the play. Don't go after the character. Don't go after the personal stuff, right? Coach Sean, give me your opinion on that.
I mean, man, you took the words right out of my mouth. I did Vrinsky put out a short we did on that. We did it together and I spoke on that, man. I'm going to critique they play, right? That's what any coach will tell you. If they don't play well, you go look at Marvin, you go look at Smoke, you go look at all these great guys on Bama Standard. They critique what they see on the field.
Mm-hmm.
They don't attack the kid. They don't do that, man. No sane individual. This is what I say, man. And I'll be careful what I say. If you have a 401k, a mortgage, and you around here calling a kid a dirtbag because he messed up or didn't play well. You really need to look at yourself in the mirror, bro.
100%.
Nobody on the Alabama team know who you are. Like, these are still 20, 21, and 22-year-old young men, right? Yes, let's critique them when they don't play well. Well, he could have played better. Well, he didn't do this well. But attacking a kid, I seen one comment with Wilkin talking about they hope he hope he get hurt and break his leg and all this kind of crazy stuff. I just couldn't believe it. Here's the last thing I'll say about that. Kids at these camps talk about stuff. They pull up this stuff and they show it. Parents see it. So these fans who love Alabama so much, let them tell it. You hurting your own team and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. If you don't think parents see this stuff, fans see this stuff, and they form an opinion about your fan base, right? Every football player know they're going to get critiqued with their play. We go into it knowing this. But when you start talking about a kid is garbage, he's trash, you really need to go check yourself in the mirror, man. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
Brinsky.
Man, and I'm so glad you brought that up, Coach Sean, because, yeah, I made the short, but Coach Sean was the star of the whole short. That was the whole thing. He spoke exactly like that. And the crazy thing about that short, if you guys see it, it's on TikTok. It got put off of YouTube for copyright for some odd reason. Oh, no, because it was too long. Because it was too long.
Oh, okay.
NFL material. But what he was talking about, folks, I put Jalen Hurts on there, and people thought he was talking about Jalen Hurts.
Facts.
And I had to repeatedly say over and over so many comments, it's not about Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts is a prime example of what he is talking about. These type of fans just calling people names and stuff like that. Like, and somebody in the comments was saying them players don't care nothing about us. They don't care nothing about our opinions or whatnot. Okay, go ask their families, do they care?
That's a fact.
It's literally a whole video you can literally look up right now with Jalen Milroe's father in the stands at Tennessee about to get into it with a fan because he said something crazy about his son. It may have been an Alabama fan. I don't know what, but you keep thinking that these people do not care. Like, it matters, man. Do not we can critique that game. Yes, I got mad at plenty of games. Trust me. I seen John seen it, Coach Sean seen it, I seen it. I seen us lose to Auburn 6 straight years. I was frustrated. And I was in middle school, elementary and middle school. So trust me, I know how it is. But just going after somebody's character, because I guarantee you, if you was right in front of them, you would not utter those same words.
Oh, no.
Let me say this real quick, John.
Go ahead, Coach.
Brinsky hit the nail on the head as centered as you possibly can. Let me say this really quickly. I can tell you this. These players' families hear this stuff from people, right? And then to tag them in a post, to say something like that and then tag the player's family. And to this one fan, him in particular, and the reason why I pick on him a lot, I don't say his name, I'm not going to give him no love, because this fan is like he calls the Fire Bomb show, and, you were calling Jalen, I remember you were calling Jalen Hurts a bum. He's a bum. Get him out of town. If you call him a bum, you don't deserve to say he's built by Bama when he had success at the next level. If you called him a bum when he was at Alabama, you do not deserve to say he's built by Bama. No. Stop. I can tell you these players' parents, what I know personally, these players' parents, and I'm going to say this really quickly. It's one coach in particular that I know because my nephew was recruited by him. Use it against you every time you do that. Every fan base has people like that, but Alabama has a good plethora of them. It's one coach in South Carolina that use it against you. He went to the school, but he sure uses it against you every time he gets a chance. So please, man, keep it to their play. The bum, the trash, the no good, hope he breaks his leg, leave that somewhere else, man. Please.
You cowards.
We're going to have a better year, right? It's going to be a complete turnaround. That's what I'm hoping here. But before we jump into that, I just want to say what's up. What's up, Kimberly? What's up, Charles? Obviously, we got some in here. Janet, obviously, on here as always. Crazy seeing these names. So used to being on with you guys and seeing them, Nicholas.
What's going on?
See you,
Bama.
I know I missed, and then obviously I can't remember Katrina. Got to make sure to have Katrina, obviously.
Definitely.
So, and here we go. So Scott thinks the most important position is the line play. That's one thing people are definitely going to be paying a lot of attention to, is the O-line play. Now, I do have a question for you, Coach Sean, and then Brinsky, get your opinion on this. Depending on the quarterback, can the quarterback, right, improve or decrease the O-line play? How involved is the quarterback when it comes to the O-line?
Well, I wouldn't say the quarterback. I would say the play calling for the quarterback.
Play calling, there we go.
If you know your tackles are not very good at pass blocking, you want to do something to get the ball out of their hands quick. You want to call crosses and hitches and things of that nature, something, screens, anything to get the ball out of their hands quick. Move the pocket. Give him something to help him out as far as – that's why I was so frustrated last year.
Yeah.
We never moved the pocket a lot. You know, I just – some of the play calling on third down utterly made me shake my head like, what, you know, but yeah, I think it all goes hand in hand. I think with the play call, with the skill set of your quarterback, what does he do well? What does he not do well? Does he throw short well? Does he throw intermediate well? Play calling with the skill set of your quarterback go right hand in hand with the strength of your offensive and defensive, or your offensive tackles. Especially if he's a right-hand quarterback, left tackle, left-hand quarterback, right tackle. Your backside, blind side is extremely important. So, yeah, I think the play call to me and the execution of that play is just as important as the blocking scheme.
So I'm going to circle back around to this because I don't want to forget this question. I feel like everybody should hear about this. Look, Ryan Grubbs, you said you watched film on him, right? In Seattle, you watched film on him in Washington. I do know he tends to do more zone read versus gap, which is what we saw the reverse of last season, right, with Nick Sheridan. And I feel like that's so important because when you look at Justice Haynes, when you look at Jam Miller, and I've already discussed this before on a previous show, like those styles matter, right? Styles make fights, in my opinion. When you look at Richard Young coming in as the running back number 2, if that's going to be the case, because my God, Riley, like, folks, there is a running back on the rise, right? So, yes. And there's no telling where he's going to end up at 240 pounds and doing what he's doing. When you look at what we got, and then you look at what Ryan Grubb has done right at Washington, everywhere he's been, really having 1,000-yard rusher, if not better, going out and getting Washington a big running back, which is what he's known to do, especially when you get near the goal line. How much of an improvement with Grubb coming in with a zone read, right? Primarily going to be the running game. How much more effective should we be this year with these running backs?
I think super effective. I think I call for this. Me and Brinsky both. We, along with Ty Hayes, we all call for this. Coach Al, all our guys, you know, Coach Carl, Piano Man, we all call for this, man, during the season. When you look at Coach Grubb and who's at Washington, these guys threw a lot of hitches. You know, they ran a lot of inside-outside zone, a lot of hitches, shotgun, maybe 70, 80% of the time. Not pro style, but spread. Route tendencies were awesome. You know, a lot of heavy screens, wide receiver screens now, not running back screens, wide receiver screens. Big difference. So I think it's going to be astronomically different, right? And it's not necessarily the play calling, but it's the down and distance of the play. It's the situational play calling for me, right? Everything Nick Sheridan done wasn't bad, right? It's just the situational play calling for me what was very strange at certain times, right? I think Coach Grubb is a lot of, bunch formations, a lot of wide receiver motion, things like that help your quarterback out, man. It mixes the defense up. It shows you what they're doing. It shows you whether they're in man, whether they're in zone. A lot of things like that, a lot of pre-snap motion and things like that will help this offense greatly. If you help your quarterback, you help your offensive line and vice versa. Play calling always helps everybody. So I think the running game, to your question, running that style of offense, to me, always helps the kind of backs that we have. Yeah. We should have been doing a lot last season, but for whatever reason, we didn't.
Brinsky?
Man, just run the ball. Just run the damn ball. That's all. Only thing I can tell you, man. I had the stat. I wish I kept it up, but I think the most jam outside of the I'm not even gonna count the Auburn game. I think the most that jam ran all last year touch wise was like 15, and he only had double digits probably like maybe 3 or 4 times. It was a lot of digit carries all year. Like just run the damn ball, man. Because I don't understand it. You take a lot of pressure off your O line with that, and you can run some clock. It almost cost us in the Georgia game if you just see they just kept playing so conservative at the end of the game. Like Coach Sean was saying, like situational. Like, why are we passing the ball like first and second down and definitely not completing them? And we stopping the clock. We helping the other team get back in there. And then we basically doing 3 and outs. Defense coming back out there tired after they just had a amazing drive. I don't understand it, man. So I expect a lot of great things this season for real on that O line, and I ain't gonna say great things with the O line, but with the running game for sure to relieve the pressure off the quarterback, whoever's the starter is.
All right. So real quick, just yes or no, will we have 1,000-yard rusher this season, Coach?
I don't think so. Not because they did bad. I just think it's going to be some rotation. I don't think it's going to be as much rotation. I just don't think we'll have the type of back that'll get 25 to 30 carries every game. I don't mind the rotation as long as you don't do it too soon. I played that position. It's okay to rotate your backs, but don't come get me every series. Let me get a couple series on my belt so I can feel the flow of the game. Don't let me run 2 plays, come out, he come in for 2 plays, and you put me back in. No, let me get a few series under my belt so I can feel the flow of the game. Give me a couple of carries early, and let me get the flow of the game, and then you can sub in, right? I think these guys will be smarter with the running backs. I don't think we'll have 1,000-yard rusher because of the substitution and because Ryan Grubb still like to throw it around the yard. But the situational play calling will make a lot more sense this year than it did last year.
All right. So we do have a question here from Christian Hughes for the panel. Have any of you heard about the status on Bama's kicking game this season? As far as from what I've heard, it's Connor Talty. It's been getting the kicks, and from what I've heard, he's been doing actually really well. So, but usually when you don't hear a lot of noise about a position group, that's usually a really good thing when it comes from the special teams, like from a kicking and punting standpoint. And so far, we haven't heard very much other than every single time special teams is mentioned in front of DeBoer, he says they're great. They're nailing most of their kicks.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that a good thing. Coach, you got anything to say on that, Brinsky?
Go ahead, Brinsky.
Oh, yeah, man. Like I said, if you don't usually hear nothing about it, man, that's a great thing. I don't want to hear too much coming out of camp like, oh, we may need a kicker, nothing like that. We don't hear from them. That's always a great thing. So, yeah, A1 for me. And just piggyback off just to answer the 1,000-yard thing, I'm going to disagree with Coach Sean on that. Just because I believe we will have one. I believe Jam is going to be out there to get 1,000.
I hope we do. I really hope we do.
Because I just don't see us. I think we went 2 straight years without 1,000-yard rushers at Alabama, which is unheard of and unacceptable.
Facts.
We NFL you, and we also running back you. We better get 1,000-yard rusher this year.
I agree. I will also disagree with Coach Sean, and I'm going to say that Jam will be. I'm going to say workhorse, but workhorse for this style of offense, which is not a 25 carry, right? So maybe 15 to 17. But I think he could have enough playing time to where this offense is much more efficient to where we get ahead right earlier, and then we see a lot more of the run game versus having to throw to play catch up or to keep ourselves in the game, right? So that's what I'm hoping for, which means you should also see Richard Young coming out of that backfield catching the ball, right? So
and see, that's my point. I think early they're not going to depend on the quarterback a lot. I think we're going to run the ball early in the season a lot. I think these guys are going to get Daniel Hill some carries. I think Richard Young's going to play a lot, right? I think they're going to split that thing. It might not be even split, but I think Jam will be the workhorse like Brinsky said. But I do think Daniel's going to play for no other reason other than you don't want these kids to transfer. They brought 2 transfer running backs in. I don't think they brought these guys in to sit the bench. They brought a thumper in. I think they're going to give him the ball. They brought another little lightning bolt guy in. I think he's going to run the ball. I think we're going to have a plethora of guys touch that rock this season in different situations.
Our depth at running back. I mean, we're not even talking about Washington. We're not talking about AK Deer, right? We're talking about a stable of running backs. And that's why I keep saying my motto for this season is no more excuses, right? So we have it in place. You have the offense coordinator. You wanted it in place. Let's go out and get this thing. He's been there for a season. He's seen the grind of the SEC, right? We're talking about Kalen DeBoer, obviously. And we're getting through this thing. So now, with that being said, it seems like, my God, we're so deep on the back end in the defense. Everyone is deciding to show out, not just Dejon Lee, right? So not just Drake or Patrick, not Zay Mincy. You're talking about everybody on this thing is deciding to show out. Is there anybody that's really just kind of surprised you going, yeah, well, I didn't expect him maybe, or just what is going on the back end? Look, and I'm just going to have to leave it at this. Kalen DeBoer comes in with an offensive-minded head coach, right? And most people say that the defense is going to fall off. And you see the defense possibly being the strong point here. So go ahead, Coach.
No, I want Brinsky to go first because I know Brinsky called this kid out probably in the beginning probably when the kid was still in high school. Brinsky and Ty Hayes was on this kid way before I even knew who he was. And I want Brinsky to speak on that defense and that young man.
Dejon Lee, man. And the man. I was like, it doesn't surprise me. And just think about this. This is the worst he's going to be.
It's facts.
That's the worst he's going to be. And he's already showing out the way he is. And then you already bringing in veterans like Cam Calhoun, who is showing out. Zay Mincy playing safety. Moving from a corner to safety, I think was the best thing that ever happened to him. I said this. I believe he's better than Saab at that position. I don't believe he's going to give up a lot back there. If you look at that Michigan game with him and Zay back there, they was like 1-on-1. Man, they had that thing working back there. For real, I loved everything about them back there. So just keep your eyes out on that. Zabian stepping up. Of course, we got our lockdown cornerback. I think the money coming back is one of the most important things for this entire secondary because we get to see guys still grow like Zabian can grow in that CB2 spot.
Yeah.
Dejon doesn't have to force to be played, but if you can't keep him off the bench because he's that good, you just got to play him. Oh, well, I can live with it. But it's not like we forcing him like we did last year, so that's a blessing in disguise.
Facts.
Larry Large say he's looking for 30 picks this season from the DBs. Look, if it's anything like this spring is shown, we're not even talking about Ivan Taylor and these other guys that have come on the scene and just looking like the dudes, right? They're those guys. And it just reminds me of 2015, 2016, we'll say 2017, in my opinion, was the last of the great defensive backs, in my opinion, as a whole. It's feeling very eerie like that when it comes to this. But go ahead, Coach Sean.
Go ahead.
Well, before you, my fault, Coach Sean.
You
I
good,
just want to answer Dwight real quick because you are definitely right, Dwight, because they really weren't throwing the ball. But if you go look at how they was playing downhill, they was laying that wood, man. They was hitting, like they was really covering. Like just watch the game over with and just pay attention to Zay Mincy the whole time. Don't worry about no other position. Just watch how he was playing. But I agree with you. They really weren't throwing the ball like that. So I do agree with you on that.
Facts. For me, man, it's I probably say, Brinsky right on that. Because Brinsky took that, I probably say the linebacking core as a whole. I'm really anxious to see these guys. We probably got as much talent and depth at outside linebacker as I can remember at Alabama. I mean, shout out to Ebony and her son Noah. That kid is going to be a killer when Listen, man, you not only got Noah Carter back there that's young, a puppy, that know how to come get the quarterback, man. You got Yanze Pierre, who gonna be a problem as well. My kid, who I did a breakdown on, Justin Hill. This kid, man, listen, is it last name Hill, the linebacker from Ohio?
Yeah, Justin Hill.
Listen, man, you got all those guys. Quay Rousseau is gonna have a huge year this year. And then you look in the middle. Don't look now, but Nakai Green Hill, that kid was an all-conference linebacker, man. This is just not a nobody, that a body. This kid was an all-conference 100 tackle middle linebacker until Deontay get healthy. Justin Jefferson is still there. Caden Jones is getting better and better and better. Then the young pups, Duke Johnson, QB Reese, the young kid out of went to the same high school as Caleb Downs. Man, the middle linebacker. These kids are absolutely awesome. We have more depth at that position. Luke Mertz, at that position than I've ever can remember at one time. We always had Ruben, we always had Reggie's, we always had Rashawn and Mac Wilson. We have a lot of these similar guys that's just as athletic, just as got that thump to them, Nakai, all at one time. All at one time. So we call those that's those good kind of problems.
Abdul Sanders. Man,
Abdul Sanders, facts.
This can go, and look, if y'all definitely want your comment read, make sure just to do the super chat, right? So this is my first live stream in a long time I've ran, so sorry if I'm a little slow, but yeah, the depth on this defense, and we're not even talking about LT Overton, right? So coming back, and I think that's where like this is key when you look at like last season and maybe the past couple seasons prior. I said the starters are great, right? So we have outstanding A1, 4 and 5 star starters. There's no doubt the talent is there. The big question for those couple of years to me was, what does the depth look like behind that? When those guys come off, who is stepping on the field, and are they ready to step on the field? It's almost like a backup quarterback. You saw Tua come in his freshman season, right? He got playing time. Well, now you're going to see a lot of these guys, not just the starters, but the backups who had a ton of playing time last season. But I'm talking about the line in specific, right? A few of the linebackers, obviously. I mean, to me, if Rousseau wouldn't have got hurt last season, I don't know, but probably I don't know how many sacks he would have got, but it would have been something ridiculous. So, and just like Joshua said here, Overton fixing to be a monster. I'm hoping, you know what I mean? So, and when I look at the depth, when I look at the defense, I'm wanting to see a lot, and I want to see healthy. And the reason why I say I want to see healthy is because look at our tight end room right now. We're in a little bit of trouble when it comes to the tight ends, right? So a lot of issues going on there. And before I forget, guys, who's not going to be seen during the 8A game? Cornerback Damani Jackson, that list was released. Linebacker Deontay Lawson, tight end Danny Lewis Jr., safety Keon Sabb are the main ones that aren't being shown. And those are like the official ones that were announced. They said potentially more. Obviously, I do expect more to not see the field. If they're a little dinged up, they're probably not going to see the field at all, to be honest with you, just the way this is kind of structured. Yeah. This is more of just like Brinsky said, and it's like you said, Coach Sean, it's more a fanfare and stuff like that. But with all of that being said, I want to touch on one more thing, the wide receiving group. Why? Because we know Ryan Williams is coming back. We know who left, right? And we know who came in. Latsier Brooks and these guys, Isaiah Horton, looking like some studs, in my opinion. Starting off with you, Brinsky, on this one, or you, Coach, whoever wants to. Okay, Brinsky. Who outside of Ryan Williams is going to be stepping up and helping that cat on the other side or in that slot position?
Yes, I believe J.L. Varden Bernard is going to be. He is him. He is him. Like Coach Sean said it best, man. This kid is tough, man. He's definitely tough. He's going to go out there and get the necessary catches that we need. Like, if we need a catch, if we need a first down, he's going to be the player to do it, man. I know Isaiah Horton is doing some great things in practice. I just hope that it translates on to the game. Like, anybody can look good on the practice field, but I needed it to translate on to the actual game. If that can translate on to the actual game, oh man, the sky's the limit with this group. And Lacia Brooks, shout out to Ty Hayes. I don't know nobody, and I mean nobody
Every
that was
week.
talking about this kid until Ty mentioned it.
That's
And
facts.
he told us to look at him. And I've been a fan ever since. And ever since he got to this camp, y'all see the highlights. Y'all see what he doing. We're gonna if we're being honest, we're gonna lose a couple of guys because some of these guys I just don't believe they're gonna get any type of playing time. I'm just being honest. Cole Adams, I like Cole, but I don't see Cole touching that field. Probably get him back on special teams just for that. But only time will tell, man. Nothing's official right now.
Coach Sean.
Yeah, the receivers are going to be great this cycle. For me, because I think they'll have competent routes, competent route tendencies, and competent route tendencies in different play calling situations. On 3rd and 2, they won't be asked to run 4 verts.
Oh
You know
my
what I mean? Deep digs. So I really believe these kids will be put in a position where they can make plays. One thing I like about Grubb, he believes in getting the ball into his playmakers' hands. A lot of throws behind the line of scrimmage, a lot of quick hits, a lot of quick things, man. And I like that. It's a lot easier in college, man, to throw those boundary throws in college with the way the hash marks are set up as opposed to the pros. So I can't wait, man. You're not going to be able to double and bracket Ryan. Teams will still try to do that. They'll still try to do that, and it's going to open up the door for Isaiah. It's going to open up the door for what I believe a kid that's my X factor. Not as explosive as everybody else, but I think he's the toughest receiver on the team. I think he'll knock your head off on a block. This kid ain't scared to block. This kid is the type of kid like Mechie was. If it's an interception thrown, he's trying to make the tackle. Bernard to me, man, is Jeremy Bernard to me is the epitome of a Bama player. I can see that kid coming to Bama as a freshman. I mean, he seems to me like he's built by Bama. I know he's been here 2 years. Jeremy Bernard to me is the key to the ignition as far as the wide receiving core. He did a lot of the dirty work last year that people don't see. People don't see the blocks downfield. People don't see the toughness this kid. This kid can take a reverse to the house. He can do anything you ask him to do, right? So he's definitely one of my favorites because he does so much, man. He do the dirty work as far as the wide receiving is concerned, the blocking, the inside blocking, getting mixed up in the trash, if you will. So I think Jeremy Bernard is going to have a good season because everybody's going to be focused on Ryan. Ryan is going to eat. We all know that. That kid is going to get better. He's put on a little weight. He understands now how to set the defensive back up. That's what made Devontae Smith so great, man. Devontae was a smaller guy, but he understood how to set the defensive back up on digs, on things of that nature, right? He understood how to set the defensive back up. He understood how to make the quarterback not have to throw you open all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think Ryan is going to have that, right? Jeremy is a killer on the other side. Isaiah Horton, kill on the other side. Latier is going to kill him. We have a plethora of wide receivers on this team that are all itching to make plays. And I think with this offensive style and this offensive staff, they'll have an opportunity to do that.
No, I absolutely couldn't agree more. And, Jalen Hell keeps getting brought up because Jalen Hell is probably one of the most overlooked guys into this upcoming season because of his injury, right? So he never got to really touch the field last season. And before that, all you heard was raves about Jalen Hell. So I think I have to think there's going to be packages put together for Keelan Russell and some of these other receivers, just like you all have already said before, to keep them satisfied, to not transfer, to get them at least on the field to some extent, right? And the guy I'm really going to be paying attention to because he really came on strong at the end of last season with Cam Ward, and that was Isaiah Horton. Isaiah Horton, once that dude learned how to position his body and use his body right in the red zone last season, go watch the film. It became very dangerous. He's 6'4.5", right? He's already spoke on playing with the tight end group already. right? If he needs to block as a tight end, he'll block as a tight end. And that's kind of scary to think about. Isaiah Horton lining up as a tight end, leaking out of there, knowing how Ryan Grubb, right, uses his offenses to leak tight ends down the seams just when you think it's going to a back, right, or a fake screen, and it's to the seam to the tight end. If you get somebody like that catching the ball down the seam, good luck. Good luck's all I'm going to say.
Don't overlook Rico Scott either. This kid
Oh, yeah.
that played the hit behind Ryan. Hopefully hopefully these guys are working at all the receiver positions. Rico Scott is another one that can explode at any time. I do believe, if you get him away from behind Ryan, I think Rico is another one that could have a huge season. That kid always had the talent.
Yep.
Right? Once he figure out what he's doing, Rico Scott has the potential to be the number one receiver here. He has that much potential. This kid is awesome with the ball in his hands, right? I don't know if he's as dynamic as Ryan, but with the ball in his hands, I'm telling you, Rico is just as dangerous, man. So we have a plethora of these guys that will be available. For me with Jalen Hale, man, I think Jalen, as far as talent, Jalen Hale is probably as talented as anybody on the team at his position. But that injury he had, I got to see him, man. I got to see him. That injury is different because when you tear those type of things in your lower half, your knees and things of that nature, I know personally, man, a lot of times when you come back from those type of injuries, it's mental. You're afraid to cut, you're trying to psych yourself out. It take you about a full good year of contact to really come back. You see how it was with J-Mo. J-Mo recovered. It took him a full football season to really get back to looking like J-Mo. Because when you tear ligaments or things of that nature, when you cut, man, you still weary of it. You're trying to cut, but your mind is telling you, oh, man. So it's a mental thing when you tear those type of things. When you get hurt to that extent, I think Jalen is going to be awesome, but I think it's going to take him a while to get back to being Jalen. And when he do, watch out.
Yeah. He tore his ACL, right?
I don't know. I'm assuming he did to keep him out that long.
It was the ACL or MCL. I believe it was one of those two.
I'm assuming it's a ligament injury to keep him out that long. A break shouldn't keep him out that long. Those ligament tears definitely will.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so I mean, there's so much to look forward to, and that's going to end our talking on the Alabama segment. Unless you guys got anything to talk about, because we got one more thing we're going to touch on, and then we'll jump into if y'all have any questions. So if y'all do have any questions, make sure to put those in the chat, and we'll circle back around after we speak on this next thing. And the reason why we're speaking on this is because it's the first one we've seen. It was only a matter of time, and we're talking about the Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava. Hopefully I said his name right. Sorry if I didn't. It's not confirmed this is the exact reason, but every single report out there says this is the reason. Nico saw a couple quarterbacks, right? Starting off with Carson Beck when he went to Miami, restructure his NIL deal and hold out a couple of days, not of practice, but just kind of waiting and seeing. Well, now Nico is holding out of practice. He's not showing up to practice with the team because he wants a restructured NIL deal and he wants to be paid what Carson Beck and these others are being paid as well, right? So which he wants, I guess, around $4 million is supposedly the number he wants per year. So with that being said, we knew it was only a matter of time. I don't like speaking on this negatively because I love Coach Al and just, positive energy and all that. But this is something I feel like it has to be addressed to some extent, right? So starting off with you, Brinsky, and then we'll go to Coach Sean on this. Give me your take on Nico. It looks like holding out for camp because of NIL money.
Man, the only thing I'm gonna say about this is that we literally just talked about this.
We did
on my channel.
Really?
We literally Ty, Coach Sean, Coach Carl. Shout out to Tez.
There you go.
We all just talked about this. Like we was talking about one thing with NIL and then revenue sharing, and just to see this in real time, what's going on right now was basically everything that we was talking about. Like who was going to be a player? We didn't expect a player to do this so soon, and it's so crazy that we seeing this in real time. And the one thing that I would say that he is doing wrong, and I believe he's doing bad business. You said he seen Carson Beck do this.
It was referenced to Carson Beck going to Miami and then not signing until his NIL contract was put in place, essentially. And it was another quarterback as well. The quarterback that went from, I believe, Coastal Carolina to Duke. I believe it was him. He did the exact same thing where he said, I'm entering the transfer portal, but I'm not putting my name on the dotted line until I see the NIL money first.
Listen what you just said. They're not putting their names on the dotted line till all that is straight. Last time I checked, his name is on the dotted line.
Yeah.
And you're holding out on practice. And if I'm not mistaken, too, Tennessee is having their type of A-Day tomorrow.
Yes. And he's not expected to show.
And he better not show up. I don't care if they do get it right. He better not show up because from what I've seen with the reports, from the coaches to the players, they all turned off by him. They said they will be surprised that he's even on the team anymore. I am convinced that he is not a Tennessee volunteer anymore. I'm glad this is happening, so nobody else won't pull this, because it will show you how bad his reps are right now, because they are not handling business correctly. They could have did this a lot better. They had months before this.
Yep.
He's pocket watching everybody else do something, and clearly he hasn't lived up to the money that Tennessee already gave them. If you go look at that Ohio State game and look at his stats and look at the money that he's asking for, I guess $4 million a year. I think the verified account for On 3 with Arch Manning is like $5 million.
Yeah, 5.
And you think you're going to get that type of money and you're not Arch Manning? Man, please. I'm telling you, I will be shocked if Nico is a Tennessee volunteer next week. Matter of fact, I'll be shocked if he's a Tennessee volunteer by Monday.
Well, Brinsky, before we jump over to Coach Sean, how much does that affect their season?
They're gonna find. They have quarterbacks on the roster, but I believe Jordan McIntyre just got there. But I believe when the transfer portal open up, the first quarterback that hit there that they find decent, they're gonna bring them in. All right, it affects their season big time, because I expect him to be better than he was last year. But hey, man, this need to be a lesson to a lot of kids, and then trust me, a lot of people watching right now, best believe, and they're gonna see this play out badly in real time, and nobody's gonna try to attempt this again. So Tennessee is pretty much gonna hold their gun. So you just expect to see him in the portal.
And I believe NFL GMs are probably watching this as well.
Well, see the difference between like NFL GMs, like this our livelihood.
Yeah, they don't care.
This is a bit different. Like you're going to school for this and all that. Like this is something totally different. Something totally different.
Coach Sean?
I'll start out by saying if this is true. And we're only speaking if this is true. Allegedly, facts. For me, man, I'll say this. We all know I'm not a Tennessee fan. I think they're utterly ridiculous. You know, I think their color is ridiculous. It's not orange; it's fluorescent. I mean, I'm that fan that rather lose to Auburn than lose to Tennessee. That's just me, though. That's just me. I utterly despise them, respectfully. So, before I give my spiel, when I lose to Auburn, I feel bad. I just got to hear they little fans, like little gnats in my ear. You know, just pluck them away. When I lose to Tennessee, I get physically sick. Like I'm physically temperature and all that. You know what I mean? But I will say, man, you gave this kid a boatload of money coming out of high school, right? You gave him money. I see the OG Ephraim say, "Get your money." And if we're looking at it from the kid standpoint, okay, I'll never pocket watch. If you can do it, right? Whatever. Here's the reality of it, though. When you do it, you have just took a ridiculous defecation on every team, on every player in that locker room, all your teammates. To go back and demand more, even if you can do it or not, you just turned your back on everybody that you bled with and sweat with, right? They gave you what you asked for, right? Scholarship? What scholarship? What the hell is a scholarship? That don't mean nothing, right?
Nope.
So the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, until something is done, until revenue sharing comes in, until some borders and some parameters are going to be put on this, you're going to see this kind of stuff. But I will say to Nico, you're not Cade Klubnik at Clemson. You're not Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. You're not DJ Lagway at Florida. You're not even Arch Manning at Texas. You know, you played average, to be honest. To go out and yeah, man. I mean, if I'm Tennessee, I don't care how talented the kid is. I shoot you the deuces. Let's move on to the next quarterback. I will not be held hostage by any player. Don't give a damn. If Devontae Smith didn't ask for $7 million, $5 million, you can't ask for $7 million. If Julio Jones didn't ask for it, you can't ask for it. If the head buster himself, Marvin Constant, didn't ask for it, you can't ask for it. Period. That's just what it is. I get it, man. I understand the climate. You know, I'm on the player side. You know, I went to a HBCU, so I'm on the player side all the time. But to do that at this point, you pretty much told everybody in that locker room, I don't give a damn about you. It's about me, buddy. Right? More is more. More is not less. So shout out to my brother Gil Cruz too, man. Shout out to Gil. Big shout out. That's the end of the day, man. That's just what it is. I mean, is selfish? Maybe. Is selfish looking out for yourself? Maybe, right? I won't judge the kid because I don't know him, but I'm just saying from a team perspective, this sucks. And I can't say I feel sorry for him because it's Tennessee. The bad part is somebody else is going to try this. If this goes through and if this holds to form and Tennessee end up paying the kid, this will hold the form and somebody else will try this. I don't know who, but at some point in time, somebody else will try this. It always happens. Dominoes always fall. It just sucks for college football, man, that this type of thing is going on. I want every kid to be paid, right? Just not like this.
Yep.
Not like this. Appreciate you, Gil. Love you, brother.
Oh, yeah. I just believe, man, like Tennessee, like for the sake of college football, is going to hold firm on this because they already know if he's trying this and he's not even a top player, just imagine what the other players going to do. Like you said, man, it's like a snowball effect. Yeah. So they're going to stand firm on this. So don't be surprised. So if you have a Nico jersey, sell.
He said the stock on Nico is dropping, and it is dropping very fast right now. So, and of course, guys, I'm going to say this one last time. This is all allegedly. It's being reported by, it seems like almost everybody. But look, until that dude himself says this is what's going on, I ain't saying it's going on. I don't know. I ain't in that locker room.
You better clear it up quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Because you think if it wasn't going on, that man would have been on Twitter, Instagram, IG Live, everything humanly possible, saying, nah, this ain't going on. But no, and here we go.
Nico needs a
tariff on him. With that being said, I got this little thing right here.
Roll down tide.
College football's first holdout.
There we go. And that's exactly what it is.
Oh, I said, man, stop dropping harder than a female at Magic City.
Crazy. Yes.
All right. Well, it looks like we don't have any questions. I want to say, Coach Carl, shout out to him, obviously. But I'm going to start off with Coach Sean Brensky. Give your shout outs to everybody in the comment section now and let everybody know where they can find you and all that good stuff.
First of all, I want to say, all right, much love to Bama Standard, man. Much love to John for having us on. Much love to all the guys at Bama Standard. These guys do an outstanding job, man. Tap in with them. Much love to Coach Jantz. Much love to Ty Hayes. Much love to Coach Carl, Coach Al, my brother Piano Man. Shout out to Ted. Shout out to both my Jasons, Jason Walker and Jason Hall of Fame Sports. Way Offsides. Make sure you tap in with him as well.
Oh, yeah.
Man, just everybody, man. The entire Bama Standard, KB. Shout out to Kangaroo Black, man. Shout out to Clint Lamb, bro. Shout out to Justin, you know what I'm saying, from TBA. Shout out to all these guys, man. These guys are absolutely awesome. Tap in with all of them. Please tap in with all these guys. I'm telling you, you're missing great content if you're not tapped in with these individuals. Trust me. You guys can definitely find me, man. We're about to start cranking it back up. The summer's coming. We're gonna start, me and Brinsky and everybody, we're gonna crank it back up. Me and all the fellas, all the Wu-Tang clans, we say. Tap in with us, man. You can find me at JMHO, just my humble opinion. Sports Talk, JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter and YouTube. Much love to everybody, and roll Tide forever. And shout out to Alabama A&M University, my alma mater, right? Shout out to Sam Shade doing big things in spring. Shout out to all my brothers, right? And that's what it is, baby. AAMU for life, though.
Brinsky.
Oh yeah, man. Of course, y'all. I'm Brinsky Sharp of the Sharpshooters Podcast. Like I said, man, you can always catch Coach Sean, Tez, and all the guys. We pretty much be on each other's show. Somebody go live. We pretty much are on there just support. So make sure you guys just go over there and subscribe to the channel. I put it right there in the chat. It's a simple click, and you can just go subscribe to the channel. Thanks. On the road to 800 subscribers, just 40 subscribers away. So if you're not subscribed, come on over. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to everybody at the Bama Standard. Man, appreciate you guys. You guys do amazing work.
Yes,
also,
sir.
Just special shout out just because I'm still mad I missed that interview when you guys did DJ Hall, one of my favorites of all time. When I meet him in real life, best believe I'm going to have that picture posted up on the channel for like a full week. So shout out to DJ Hall. Definitely shout out to Julio giving autographs today. Hall of Fame career. Gold jacket coming on. And one last thing, shout out to Tuskegee University, another HBCU. We having our spring game tomorrow, so definitely shout out to them.
All right, guys. Shout out.
One last thing, John, because I had several people, my younger homies that tapped in tonight. They play linebacker at different high schools, and they love. I told them I would say this online. They love Reuben Foster, right?
Oh yeah.
I told them to make sure they go to YouTube and look up Marvin Constant. Reuben before Reuben.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Thanks. Make sure you go look up Marvin Constant. Shout out to Marvin. Shout out to Smoke. Shout out to all them boys. Shout out to JT, JB. Shout out to all the young ladies. Shout out to Justin. Make sure y'all go Google Marvin, head buster #1. Trust me.
I got smoke for Smoke, but I love Smoke. I got Smoke for
Shout out to Gerald.
So, no, we'll have to get on here and do a round table. But either way, those guys, they're all out in T-Town right now, obviously in Titletown. I believe they're having dinner right now. Well, just got done with dinner probably. So with all that being said, they're setting up to answer a couple questions on here, or the question people were asking. As far as I know, they're going to try to plan on doing a show live out there from, I believe, the Bryant Museum. I'm not 100% positive. They're still trying to work out the kinks because everything got mixed up with this whole thing. But either way, they're trying to put something together. I'm sure they'll go live at some point tomorrow. If not, they'll probably either have me or somebody else do something and talk a little bit about A-Day and all that good stuff. But make sure to check out these guys' YouTube channels, Twitter, all that. All that's going to be also in the description below. So just open that up too quick. Just push a button, right? Go and support it. It's free. It doesn't cost a dime, right? Other than that, appreciate everybody getting on here. And as always, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
F them trees.